Hello and welcome to the second stage of the European Grand Prix. We're here in Umag, Croatia for this world ranking event, and it's all about the individual podium places. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me is the man who knows his stuff, Dutch Olympic archer Chef Vandenberg, and we are straight into the action with the compound women's bronze medal match.
Judge of the match is Miss Marlene Credence, and we are ready to go for the first end.
Well, we're straight underway here. Elisa Bazzichieto, the 21-year-old Italian, is world number 92, and she goes up against the Estonian Maris Tetsmann, the 24-year-old world number 64. Chef, it's a little blowy out there. Wind looks like it's coming across the range from left to right.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a look at on the flags, and there seems to be quite a blustery kind of wind. So this will make for some interesting matches, I think.
Bazzichieto starts with a 9.
So shooting on the 50-meter range. Compound archery is all about a cumulative score.
9 also for Tetsmann.
The practice field is not too far from the finals field, so it should be pretty okay to sight in from there, because the circumstances will be very similar. But with a wind that's blowing from left to right the way it does, it's always going to be difficult to really find the center in the beginning of the match.
X.
Bit of a longer hold there, so she didn't have that much time left to get that last arrow off, but manages to keep it within the 8 ring, which does mean that she's trailing by 2 points right now.
Chef, these two came through the ranking round where they shoot 72 arrows to set up for the knockout stages. 9th and 11th, Bazzichieto 9th and Tetsmann 11th. But that ranking round it's a very different experience to match play, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. The ranking round is 72 arrows in rounds of 6. So you have 3 or 4 minutes, depending on the format, to shoot 6 arrows, which takes a bit, it takes the time pressure away a bit. You have a bit more time to get in your groove, and it's more of a marathon rather than a sprint. These matches are very short in their format, so it's only 15 arrows. High score wins, so there's a lot of consequence if you shoot one bad arrow.
Score are confirmed, and Bazzichieto is leading by 2, so Tetsmann will shoot first, the second end.
So as always, the trailing archer shoots first in the next end, and that's Maris Tetsmann here from Estonia, going for her first senior medal. Bit of movement there, Chef, on the line.
Yeah,
is that the wind?
I was going to say exactly the same. There's a bit of movement there in her stabilizer, and it doesn't seem like it's necessarily the wind because it was also up and down. So it might also just be that she's a bit nervous, although I suspect the wind has something to do with it.
Yeah, so you can just see Maris Tetsmann just moving around a bit. It's a little bit more stable from the Italian who gets her second 10 of the match.
Yeah, one of the key differences here between Tetsmann and Bazzichieto is you can see that Tetsmann is waiting for her release to go off. She's working to get her release off. If you could then compare that to the Italian, you can see that she has her thumb completely off the trigger and then goes for it at once. So that's what we refer to as shooting on command, which works for some people, but that's kind of the key. It only works for some people. Most people need to have a certain routine to get their shot to go off and to get their release to go off. Shooting on command is very difficult to cope with mentally, because the choice to make the shot might come earlier and earlier, just because that's how your brain works. So it's an interesting tactic from Bazzichieto.
Working out for her at the moment, though, 56 plays 54 provisionally. Of course, we have to wait for the target judge to confirm those scores.
Some good music on the venue.
Start of the third.
An fantastic start for Tetsmann.
So 2 points to get back into the match. 1 point by now. With 3 ends to go is pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it's possible. Although that doesn't really help her cause. I was going to say, in compound we use cumulative scoring, which means that all the arrow values just get added up until we get a 15 arrow score, which is different from the recurve competition where you shoot set system. So in compound archery, it's arguably a little bit easier to get back into a match if you're trailing by a couple points. Recurve is a bit more harsh in that way, that if you lose a set with 1 point and then win the next one with 5, you're still tied in the match.
Yeah.
2 more points for Bazzichieto, that is leading now by 4 points when we shot the third end of 5.
Well, that's 7 in the middle there for Tetsmann. Is there anything in particular you saw there? It looked like a quicker shot, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the release didn't go off the moment she wanted the release to go off. I think she drifted away from the goal a bit, and then the release went off because of the drifting movement in her bow. So yeah, I think she just drifted off to the left, and then yeah, that made the shot go. So nothing too uncommon, but it's a bit unfortunate in a medal match.
We go with the fourth hand with Maris Tetsmann on target 2, shooting first.
So previous end I said 2 points in 3 ends is possible to overcome. Now it's 4 points in 2 ends, and that makes it a bit more difficult. Still not impossible though. If she really puts down some high scores, then she might still be in this match.
It's 9.
What's also interesting about Bazzichieto's technique is that she really punches her release. She shoots on command, but she doesn't move that much when she moves her hand, which is a risk if you shoot like she does. If you move your thumb in such a rapid manner, there's always a risk of getting some movement throughout the rest of your shot, but she seems to be really steady for the rest.
29, 1 more point of advantage for
So I'm sure she is used to doing this, and she has perfected this technique for her shooting.
when we are 1 and 2 go.
Well, it's been a little inconsistent from Maris Tetsmann from Estonia. She's got a few 10s in her run of arrows, but that's 7 in the third. Really opened the door for Bazzichieto. Bazzichieto very much in command now.
Yeah, there's not much she can do wrong here if she just keeps shooting the way she does. Basically, she just points her sight in the middle and shoots a shot. She doesn't make it too difficult, which is, it's interesting to see how she manages to shoot the way she does with her release 8 like that. But it works well for especially windy circumstances where you kind of want to shoot on command sometimes. So I think these circumstances favor her a bit.
Tetsmann trailing by 5 then in the 5th. Still that movement there.
It's a liner, I would call a 10.
So that one will go for a measure. That one looks a little bit more convincing, hitting the line for a 10.
Excellent. Nine.
Calm shooting there from Bazzichieto. Quite sharp as well.
All she really wants to do is just keep shooting good shots, and it doesn't even matter if they're like bang on in the middle or if they're just fine.
28.
Because she has some room to shoot a mediocre shot, I'd say. But
another quick one, and just definitely not mediocre. It's into the 10 for a 142 victory against 136, fairly commanding. And it's Elisa Bazzichieto from Italy, who's in Paradise City.